Welcome to Category 5 Technology TV. This is episode number 484 for Wednesday, the 28th of December, 2016. The final show of the year, 2016.
This crappy year.
It has been a hard one for sure. Not a good week either in the world of entertainment, for sure.
No, that's a thing.
Not to start off on an uber depressing note.
Sorry.
But yeah, tonight we've got a very exciting show for you. I don't know about you, but I have stacks and stacks of DVDs at home, but I don't use a DVD player anymore. So we've got some DVDs here tonight. We're going to learn how to actually convert these to files so we can throw them on things like Plex. So that we can use them on our computer, plug a computer in through HDMI to a TV, and be able to watch your entire movie library without ever having to touch one of these discs anymore. So we're going to learn how to do that tonight using free software on Microsoft Windows. Ooh. So you want to stick around. Over to the newsroom, Sasha, nice to see you.
Hello, everybody. Here's what's coming up in the Category 5.tv newsroom. Police want Amazon to give up the data captured by Echo. Another line of consumer routers from Netgear are dangerously vulnerable to hacker takeover. And Microsoft has contracted nearly $1 billion from the Department of Defense. Stick around. The full details are coming up later in the show.
This is Category 5 Technology TV.
Welcome to the show. This is Category 5 Technology TV, as Jody said, and I'm Robbie Ferguson. Kelsey Jensen's here with us.
Hello, everybody.
Nice to see you.
Yes.
It's few and far between that you're here. How did you do this? How did you pull it off? You're here on a Wednesday night.
I'm back for Christmas break.
They've given you some time off school, have they?
Yes, gave me a couple weeks off of exams, got some time off work.
Cool.
So I'm here.
Very good. Well, thanks for joining us tonight. Looking forward to a great show.
Yes.
And Sasha Dermatis, how are you?
I am great. I'm super rested because they gave me a whole week off work, too.
Oh, this is like rub this salt in that wound a little bit, Robbie. Robbie's still sick. And still getting up day after day and going to work and doing things and moving people and doing everything else. And you'll notice that we're still on the old set.
Yes.
I want to tell you a little bit of a story about how our week went. So basically, Christmas time just happened on Saturday, Sunday. And we were up north visiting my in-laws, and we got an ice storm.
Yes.
I'm talking a serious ice storm, folks. I've got a video clip here somewhere I'm trying to find for you, if I can pull it up. So in Barrie and all over the place, there was a ton of ice coming down. And so we were finally leaving, not finally like I was trying to get out of there, but I was at my in-laws trying to get out of there to get to the next place. And we went down the hill and up the other one, and then sideways, and then slide down toward a ditch that was about 15 feet down.
Oh.
So the kids are screaming, and the kids are scared out of their mind, and I felt so bad for them so I just spin the wheel and, thank you, defensive driving, was able to get the van to just turn around and drive back down the hill, and then we stuck it into first gear and skidded all the way up the smaller hill on the other side and back to the in-laws. So, needless to say, lost some time that was meant to be spent doing other things than re-unpacking the van.
Unfortunately,
the
weather permits.
Yeah, well, when you're out in the boonies up north, like here in Canada, and we're talking about an hour and a half north of where we are here at the studio in Barrie, Ontario, and the back roads are just like, we'll sand them sometime.
We'll get to them.
Yeah.
One day.
Sometime. People don't need to work.
But it's kind of romantic, the forced confinement, right? So you get an extra day with the in-laws, or
sure,
right? Like
it can be, but by that point, when you have 3 young kids, by that point, like the grandparents want the kids to go home at that point. Like they've been banging on the piano for 2 days already, and enough is enough. And so
did you walk in with them drinking their martinis, midday martinis? Cheers, they're gone.
They took off their party hats. I actually, on our way back in, I apologized. I said, I'm sorry.
Sorry,
You
whether
thought
it's
you were rid of us, but here we are.
There was a video I saw of some people in Ottawa ice skating on their street.
Yes, and I mentioned that I have a video here, and I've pulled it up into Telestream Wirecast. This is Jeff Weston, our one of our co-hosts here at Category 5 TV, trying to get into his. Well, no, he's trying to get his daughter out of the car, and here he is. Good luck with that, Jeff.
Oh, poor guy.
Maybe we should take another stab at it. So let's see what we can do. Good thing we've got this handy dandy utensil here.
Why didn't it just go through on the snow?
Well, he's got to get his daughter out of the car.
Yeah.
So, it's got to be done. He's almost there. He's doing it.
This is amazing.
Oh,
Come on, Jeff.
Come on, Jeff. You can do it, man. At least he's enjoying himself. Happy Canadian winter, folks. And he's got his daughter out of the car, and they're going to make it up to the house. No, they're not.
And there they go.
And there they go. And that is essentially, that's what we were up against. Everywhere, kind of from, I guess,
right.
Barrie north.
I think Innisfil. I saw a video
Innisfil as well,
of
as far south as Innisfil?
Someone was skating on their street
Literally
as well
skating.
in Innisfil. Yeah.
Like ice skates, skating on the
yeah,
streets.
not like...
Which sounds,
rollerblading.
Speaking of sounding romantic, that sounds fantastic.
Right. Well, I was lucky because I fell a couple of weeks ago, so I was already...
come on now.
I was
This is still...
No, I was lucky because of that. I had looked up ways not to fall. And I guess if you walk like a penguin, right, you put your weight over your front foot as opposed to over your back foot when you're walking in the winter. So I used my defensive walking strategies. I walked with purpose and intent, eyes on task, mind on task, and I didn't fall even though I was on the ice. It was amazing. So thank you, Robbie.
So you learned from the excursion.
Exactly.
So for those who don't know, when we were shooting the video, the comparison of the various action cams, Sasha had a bit of a fall. We edited that out. So it wasn't in the video, but it happened. And, she will never let me live down the fact that I asked her to come and help out.
It wasn't...
And she hurt herself.
It wasn't just your fault. I went to work that day, and my boss, whom I work for a chiropractor, and he said, well, if you weren't my employee, I would tell you to go home and put this up and ice it, because it's very badly swollen. And I was like, oh, okay. He's like, but you're going to have to do that after work. So there you go.
Because you got a job to do here.
Nice boss.
Yeah, he's actually amazing. But
needless to say, we didn't get the new set up here at the studio. That's still in the cards. We've got it here, and so the studio looks absolutely a mess at this point because we've got new desks, we've got all different stuff that's coming in. So I'm excited about that. We've just got to set aside the time to be able to do that, and hopefully it'll work out. So thinking about Christmas this weekend past, any cool techie gifts or anything nerdy?
I bought my brother a drone. The
nice.
The SEMA.
Was it the same one that I have? The X5C-1 Explorers Edition?
I think so. I think you recommended it because I was asking you.
Yes, if it's the one I recommended.
Yeah.
The X5C-1, you can check it out, cat5.tv/fly. It's actually a decent drone, so he likes it?
He hasn't been able to try it yet just because of the weather.
Downpour of ice.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll enjoy it very much.
That's a great little drone.
Yes.
For sure. I bought Becca a TARDIS Christmas tree ornament.
Oh, very nice.
So she actually got a TARDIS for Christmas. So I can say that. I suppose from year after year, it will take us back in time to this year.
Yes,
and we'll remember the year of the ice storm. Did you happen to see the Doctor Who Christmas
I did.
special?
It was very good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah?
I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was very fun.
I wasn't sure. I heard that they were going to be introducing the new companion. So I was looking at the people in the episode thinking, okay, is it him?
Yeah.
Is it her?
Yeah.
And then at the end, the show's over and it's like a commercial showing, here's the new companion, and it's somebody completely different.
Yes.
So that was unexpected.
I'm actually very excited for this new companion.
Yeah.
I think it'll be good.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's going to be a great season. You know what I loved about the Christmas special? And I know the Christmas specials, they tend to be a little more tongue-in-cheek and fun, and there are a lot of Easter eggs in that episode and everything else. It really felt like they were going back to seasons 1 and 2 as far as the bee nature and a lot of tongue-in-cheek jokes, a lot of stuff that, like, it was a little bit like cheesy, but in a fun way.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Because as far as Doctor Who's gone over the past, like, we're into season 10 now this year, and this is the new version of the show. I found that they were it was getting really good, and that they lost some of that cheesiness.
They did.
And you start to fall in love with that, and that's part of what Doctor Who is and what makes it different.
Specials are good, and
but this one, they really brought it back.
Oh, absolutely.
So I thought that was good.
It was a great episode, and I really enjoyed it.
I'm looking forward to it. Hey, if you haven't seen it yet, it's season 10, episode 0. Good luck.
It works.
Good luck. Sasha, what did you do for Christmas?
Oh, I had an awesome Christmas.
Yeah?
It was low key. I had a good time. I got a new Fitbit from Dave, which was
nice.
awesome.
Tell us about what's different about this one than the other.
This one doesn't track my heart rate, so it's like a little bit of a downgrade in that case, but it's waterproof, so it tracks swimming.
No way.
Yeah. So I'm excited to try that.
I don't even understand how that works.
I know. I didn't go swimming this past Christmas, but Dave did. He jumped in a lake. Christmas
Eve. Come on. Remember what I was saying about the ice storm? Are you serious?
Yeah, it was a super fun family thing where I stayed warm and dry recording everybody jumping in a lake.
How very Canadian of Dave.
Yeah.
It's hockey and jumping into freezing cold lakes. That's what we do in the winter up
My
here.
most exciting purchase, though, or a gift, which I bought for myself, I bought a juicer on Boxing Day. So it's going to come in, I guess I bought it from the affiliate links on Amazon.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And it's coming tomorrow, so I'm going to make all of these incredible immune-boosting juices.
Nice.
Yes.
That's a really neat way that, some of us here, I can't do it, unfortunately. I can't use the affiliate links because it's on my account, and that's against the regulations. But when other folks here and when you at home use our partner links, you just go to our website, category5.tv, click on support us, and then partner links. And you can go to all these different shops like Amazon, eBay, Newegg, shops that you already shop anyway online. It doesn't change the price for you, but it gives us a percentage of each sale.
Right.
So that's a really, really cool way to help us pay the rent and pay the bills here, and we really, really appreciate it, especially as we're coming up on the end of the year, and I'm looking at things and thinking, people are really supporting this show and what we do here at Category 5, and we appreciate it so incredibly much, and we couldn't do it without you, so thank you very much for supporting us.
We love all of you.
Sure do. Thinking about your Fitbit, Sasha, I actually exceeded the goals of my LG phone for the first time.
Oh,
so
congratulations.
Thank you. And that was, what was it? That was just yesterday. So we were moving a family member, and I got 8,500 steps, and the phone figures out, okay, well, right now my goal is 8,000 steps a day, and I'm usually in around 150.
You know what I did this week, all week pretty much, is sat on the couch and watched Netflix.
So your new Fitbit is not actually getting exercised very well.
It keeps buzzing to tell me. It's like, get moving,
get up.
Gives me
Are you still alive? I can't tell because I can't tell your heartbeat.
Exactly.
But you're not moving. Someone, quick, go for a swim.
I will say I started a new series on Netflix that I've been watching called Black Mirror.
Black Mirror.
Yeah, and
I haven't heard of that one.
Well, it's creepy. It's like near future to us, and it's about what technology could allow us to do and how our weaknesses might exploit it. So it made me feel a little kind of like Jeff in like my distrust of I used to have a super love of robots, but now I'm starting to get the heebies from them.
Really?
Yeah.
So this show is like putting, like, is it conspiracy theories or reenactments of possible
It's like, yeah, it's just single
Misuses of
story.
technology?
Each episode is a single story, and I mean, I don't want to go too into detail because I want you to watch it.
Yeah,
if
no
you haven't
spoilers
seen
here,
it.
Sasha.
However, it's super unsettling. So if you do get the heebie-jeebies easy,
But it's not like heebie-jeebies like blood and gore and grossness or anything like that, is it?
No, it's about like our inner weaknesses as people. Like if you did have something that tracked every movement of your spouse, would you exploit that? Or if you, right? So it's kind of like the creepiness of the Internet of Things, really.
How technology could be used in these really, I kind of like Person of Interest always did that to me, for me, up until kind of the last 2 seasons. And the last season, I don't even know if we're going to finish it. They kind of, yay, this is a great show. And then that's kind of how it went. Like Heroes was like that, and Lost was like that. Like, why can't
Break was
why
like
can't
that.
we properly wrap up a show? But Person of Interest, what was really interesting about it is they took that, the all-seeing eye of the government and all of the cameras on the streets of the town and all of the surveillance throughout the town are interconnected and are being recorded and being monitored, but then they throw in the artificial intelligence aspect. So artificial intelligence is also then taking that and aggregating that data, figuring out who the criminals are, and sending people after them before they've committed crimes.
Oh, there's other movies like that.
This is a whole series.
That was Minority Report.
Minority
That's
Report. Yeah.
So creepy with the precogs.
Yeah.
But it was a fantastic show, and I would say, I would recommend watching the first few seasons until it really drops off, and maybe it's worth finishing, but it's one of those shows where unfortunately they really did it an injustice by ending it poorly.
Well, I found that with that show Prison Break. I don't know if you know that Prison Break.
I haven't watched
3
it.
seasons, but the end of the first season they break out of prison. So
wouldn't that be the end?
Right.
Like, the show is called Prison Break. Okay, we did it. Hooray, we did it. Congratulations.
Do not watch seasons 2 and 3. Season 1 is amazing.
Yeah. Isn't that funny, eh? Yeah. Well, this show keeps on going.
Yeah. We're
and getting
here.
exciting, and I hope that everybody did have a good Christmas. If you celebrate, and if not, hope you got to see some family and get some time off work. Hopefully you got to relax and chillax a little bit and enjoy some time. We've got a long weekend again coming up here in Canada, and it's our New Year, Canada, U.S., and lots of places around the world. And
Is it not? Is it everywhere? Am I wrong to assume that New Year's is everywhere?
Well, Chinese New Year is at a different time for sure.
But they've already started their celebrations. Their celebrations go forever. Chinese New Year already started.
It's like a 4-week Festivus.
Exactly.
And so have fun with that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that sounds like a lot of fun. Okay. Well, shall we get right into it?
Yes.
All right. First of all, before we do, congratulations to our winners of Chipolo. Just a reminder, these are tracker devices. So you can use these to find your devices that you've lost. So you just tag them on. It's about the size of a coin. And tag this onto your device, whatever, your product. Stick one in your wallet, stick one on your dog. And if you lose them, you can use this to track them. But we gave away a couple of those for Christmas, and if you didn't win one, hey, you can still go to our website, cat5.tv/Chipolo, and you can pick one of those up. We do sell those, and they are fantastic. You can get as many as you want and track them from one app, and it's pretty cool.
Very nice.
It's neat seeing your devices on a map, and if I forget something at a friend's house, and I can look at my phone, and it's at Kelsey's place. There it is. Kelsey stole my wallet.
Whoops.
Now I know.
You would figure it out.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's get into it. First of all, how many people still use a DVD player? Like, really?
Like a DVD player, like a
laptop? A DVD player. Like, you sit down, because you've got a flat screen TV in your house now.
Yeah.
And do you have a DVD player or a Blu-ray player plugged into it?
My parents do.
Do they?
Yeah.
Do you?
At my house in Windsor, no.
No? You just use a laptop and that's
Yeah.
it? Do you have DVD player in that and you use that for physical discs?
Yeah, I have that.
So you throw those in and...
Yeah, because I've got Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings and all that fun stuff.
And you're not tired of them yet?
I mean...
That's it. She's got...
They're a little annoying, I will admit.
Just don't drive your Tesla while watching Harry Potter.
I won't, I promise.
I quite often come into stacks of great bargain DVDs and things, and the fact is I don't have a DVD player hooked up.
Yeah.
My wife told me to be honest and say, Robbie, you do have a DVD player. You do own one. You just haven't bothered to hook it up. And to that I say, no, dear, I just don't feel like we need it anymore because it's just clutter. And like this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 movies, and it takes up that much room on a shelf.
Yeah.
Okay? Ridiculous.
Well, the bottom one has 4 movies in it.
Oh, yeah, to be fair. Tremors 1 through 4. Okay? So we're talking the best of the bests right there. Yeah, no, to be fair, sure. But realistically, that's how much space it takes up on a shelf or whatever. So what I do is I copy these into a computer that has Plex. Okay. And we've talked about Plex Media Server on our show before. And if you're not familiar with it, get onto our website, category5.tv, type in Plex in the search. What it allows me to do is it allows me to take this whole stack of DVDs and put them onto the hard drive of that system and then watch it from any of my devices. Ooh. So I've got a Roku on my TV downstairs. It's a 55-inch flat screen, and it's great. Yeah. And then we've got a smaller flat screen TV with a Amazon Fire TV stick upstairs. So I've got Plex on both of those devices. Plus, we have Plex on the computers. Yeah. So that allows us to then watch our movies without having to physically take the DVDs out and put them into various devices and have DVD players all over the house, because you imagine if you've got 2 or 3 TVs, that's 2 or 3 DVD players or Blu-ray players in order to watch your movies. Yeah. I also have 3 kids at home, and they're all under 12 years old. One of them is 6 years old, and to have stacks and stacks of DVDs, you know they're going to get ruined. They're going to get wrecked. So I copy them in, and then I box them, and I stick them in storage in the garage. Yeah. Right? Because we're not talking about copying DVDs to bootleg. I'm not making copies and giving them to friends or selling them or anything like that. What we're talking about is taking DVDs that we legitimately own and having a way to be able to put those onto our devices. Because quite frankly, I don't have many devices anymore that take this. Yeah. Realistically. And if I do, I do own one DVD player, but it's not hooked up because it just takes up this much space on our media center. Well, I've got the TV on the wall, and on the media center I've got 5.1 surround sound speakers and a couple of other little devices. I don't need to have yet another huge device sitting there, right? Yes. Like, let's just throw VHS into the mix.
I have a question for you while we're going through this.
Yeah.
Does this server, does it also take Blu-ray discs?
Yeah, sure. Like Plex?
Yeah.
Plex will just take any file that you throw at it. So the trick is converting these into files that can be played back. Right. So, and you don't need to have Plex. If you've got a decent size hard drive in your computer, you could, with you being at school, for example, you don't want to have 1,000 DVDs, but you could copy 1,000 DVDs onto your hard drive. Right. For example, just to say. So then, you know, if you own the discs, you can have them on your computer and they're yours, and you can watch them on demand just by double-clicking on the file. It's a video file, right? What Plex does is it gives you basically your own homebrew Netflix-style service so that you can actually watch all of your programs, all of your movies in one centralized system on any of your devices. Okay. And it keeps track. So if I finish half of Sherlock Holmes, just like Netflix, it will carry on from where I left off the next time I push play. And if I'm ripping seasons of shows, another example would be, and here's a great example. We do have a DVD player, but we buy a lot of British shows on DVD. Yeah. Okay, because you can't get them here. So, for example, my wife opened up season 5 of Stella as part of our Christmas morning. So we've got Stella season 5. It is from Sky One, and it's region coded to the UK. Right. So if I put it in my DVD player here in Canada, it would not play. Oh. So the other advantage to what we're doing is I'm able to buy from amazon.co.uk, get the disc in the mail, and then convert it to files that can be played here in Canada. A disc that I would not even be able to play if I plugged it into my DVD player. Yeah. Okay.
There's people going on the chat talking about Debbie Reynolds now. She's in hospital too.
Oh my gosh. How do you keep twisting things?
Sorry, I was just noticing it on the chat. I was like,
I'm going to minimize you. I'm going to minimize you. Okay, so should we get into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
It starts with knowing what kind of software. And you ask about Blu-ray. Blu-ray is a bit of a different can of worms, and that's because the encryption on Blu-ray has gotten better.
Right.
Now, there is software available that will do it, and there's ways to do it, but it's beyond the scope of what we're teaching you tonight.
Okay.
So we're looking specifically at DVDs, and that's because DVDs, I can show you that in a half hour or less. It's really, really simple, and you can do it at home, and you do not need to be a tech-savvy wizard in order to, you don't need to do a bunch of compiling and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so we're going to start with DVDs. I've got my trusty little laptop here, and it has Microsoft Windows 10 on it. And so the first thing that we need to do is we need to get a program called Handbrake. And we're going to find that just on the web. Just bring up Chrome or whatever browser you're using and go handbrake.fr. And that's the official website of this tool. What Handbrake is it is a piece of software that is designed to convert videos from one format to another. So that could be a file to another version of a file. So if you want to be able to play it on your PSP or something like that, or it will convert it to a file format that's compatible. But similarly, we can set the source to a DVD, and it will copy that into a file that we tell it to, you know, what format we want, like an MP4. Where Handbrake falls short, if you will, we'll say, is that it has to be an unencrypted, non-copyright protected disc. Okay, so we're talking realistically, the only things that you can copy with that out of the box are like your home movies that have been burnt to DVD.
Right.
Things like that. Or, you know, what can you really get that's not copy protected? Again, I reiterate that we're not showing you how to hack discs, and we're not looking at piracy tonight. That's not what we're doing. What we're looking at is making a copy of our own legitimately owned discs so that we can put them on our other devices, so that we can view them on the devices that we own, because we may not have DVD players laying around the house and connected to every TV. So that's what we want to do. So Handbrake, as I say, is not going to, out of the box, rip these Hollywood DVDs. But I'm going to show you how to get around that, if you will. But basically, okay, I'm going to download the Windows version, so I'm just going to save that download, and it's pretty small. It's going to be here really, really quickly. Why Handbrake does not do this out of the box is because it's open source, it's free, it's available for you to download on Windows, Mac, and Linux. You'll notice I'm doing this on Windows because a large number of people are on the Windows platform, so I want you to see how this is done on Windows. If you're on Linux, if you're on Mac, you can get it for those platforms as well, and the process is pretty much identical, other than the fact we're not going to use DLLs, as you're going to see in a few minutes with Windows. But the reason that they don't include the capability to rip copyright protected discs is because, one, they don't want it used for piracy, but also they're kind of covering their butts a little bit, because as soon as they bring out a tool that will do that out of the box, now they are creating a tool that could be used for piracy. And,
which makes sense. Like, I wouldn't want my equipment being used for something nefarious.
And when you're creating a legitimate application with legitimate use, it's like a gray area. We don't want to go there, so we're just going to play it safe, and the tools are available out there. You just need to know how to get them. That's what I'm going to show you how to do for all legitimate intents and purposes. Okay, so I've got Handbrake downloaded here, and I can click on that, and I'll run it. And it's going to ask me to install version 1. Look at that, brand new, nice and sleek. And there we go. Okay, Handbrake has been installed on your computer, so it should be on my desktop now. There it is. Pretty sleek, straightforward. What do you want to do? Source selection. Okay. So it is just kind of waiting for me to select something. I don't have a DVD in there right now, so it's not going to do anything. Should I throw a DVD in, and we'll show you what happens. Let's start with Sherlock Holmes here. So here's just is it? I haven't seen it yet, so I'm looking forward to putting it on Plex and getting in it. I may have seen it years ago when it came. Like, it's an oldie but a goodie, right?
Oh, absolutely.
But we enjoy the show out of the UK for sure, the current one.
Very excited for the new season.
Yeah. So I've just stuck in that DVD here, and we'll see that that's going to, there's Windows saying that they've detected it. Let's open Handbrake, and it should see that DVD now. There it is. So Sherlock Holmes is now one of my options for source selection. So I click on that, and what it does is it scans all the titles on the disc. So if it's able to read it, it will see the titles. Those are basically like the chapter marks and everything, and basically we want to record the entire video to a file. So every title from the DVD. There are sometimes, like the Tremors one, for example, that you pointed out, that has all 4 tremors. We may want to select just one video because we don't want to rip them all to one straight video, right? Okay, so this is saying that there's a problem. There is no format of that disc that Handbrake can actually read. So what's going on? Well, the source may be protected or include DRM. Please note that Handbrake does not support the removal of copy protection. So out of the box, you might say, okay, well, this is not going to work, and that's free software, and it's not going to do it for me. What we can do is we can tap into what VLC has done at videolan.org. Let's head on over there. And Videolan, VLC is a very popular video player because it basically plays every format, right? You've probably got it installed on Windows. You maybe have it on your Linux machine, even your Mac, because it'll just play everything. You don't have to mess around. And again, it's not about breaking copy protection. It's about being able to access the things that you legitimately own and use them on all your devices, and that's a legitimate use.
Right.
So hopping over here, on the VLC website, notice I'm not going to download VLC, although I would recommend that you do that. It's a great player, and Handbrake will actually tap into some of its features. But instead, what we're going to do is we're going to go projects and then libdvd CSS. And what this is, as it says here, it's a simple library designed for accessing DVDs like a block device without having to bother with the decryption. So it basically circumvents the fact that there is copy protection on that disk. So if you scroll down a little bit, it's not very clear on Windows where you're supposed to go because these are all instructions for Linux machines. But if we click on releases here, then we'll see a list of all the various releases. And as you click on to the newer releases, you'll see that there are source packages here for Linux. And so we click, I would start at the most recent and work your way backwards. I happen to know that it's, I believe, 1.2.12 is the last build of Windows. If you go to .13, you'll see it goes right to Linux sources. If we go into 1.2.12, at least at this time here in 2016, the end of 2016, that's the most recent version of the Windows compiled binary that is available. So what this is going to do is it's going to give us access to the capabilities of ripping encrypted copy protected disks.
Right.
Okay. So we're going to go into, now I have Windows 64-bit. All right. How do we tell that? Click on your start menu. Now I've got Classic Shell installed, so I'm going to have to hold the Shift button in order to get there, but you can just go there. Right click on File Explorer and go Properties. And you'll see Windows System Type 64-bit operating system. Okay. So I know that I have a 64-bit. It will be either 64 or 32. So I go into the Win64 folder, and you'll see that there is a libdvd css-2.dll. I'm going to save that. First of all, I'll throw it into my downloads folder. That's fine. It's pretty much instantaneous because it's a tiny little file. Cut that file. We're going to use that, and we're going to jump into our C drive. We're going to head on over to Program Files on our 64-bit system. And I should see Handbrake there. Yep, there it is. And simply in the home folder, the root folder of Handbrake, I'm going to paste that file in, give it permission to write. And now Handbrake has DVD decryption. Okay, so if all went well with the versioning here, open up Handbrake and select our source again. Now they've just released version 1.0, so I'm hoping that this is going to take just like that. Let's see what happens. So it's going through the titles just like it did last time. Notice I didn't go through any installation steps for that. It was just, hey, just pop it in, drop it in the folder. Older versions of Handbrake will... Now you notice I didn't get the error message there. You see that?
Yeah.
So that's great. So it took.
Woo.
So here are our different titles. And you'll see this one is 11 seconds, that one's 12 seconds, 21 seconds, 30 seconds, 14 minutes, etc. The first one here is 2 hours and 8 minutes. That's going to be the full movie. Okay? So now I'm going to browse, and what am I doing here? I'm just telling it, hey, this is where I want to save the file to. So I'm going to just call this Sherlock Holmes. How do you spell it? Holmes. Holmes. And we're going to call it .mp4. You can do .m4v. Hit save. Okay. And then choose the type of video rip that you want to do. Okay, now it's automatically set to fast 1080p 30. Now this is a DVD, so I know that it's only going to be 720 by 480. So there's no point in doing a 1080p file because that's more, it's going to take up a lot more space than it needs to. You
Right.
only have 480p data on a DVD,
Yeah.
which is still going to look really good. But we know that 1080p is not an appropriate format. So we can say, what, very fast 480p 30?
Right.
Or we can say Super HQ, which is high quality, 480p 30. So 30 frames per second.
That one also says
I
surround.
like that. And it has surround sound. I'm not sure if I want the surround sound embedded, but it's going to likely work anyways. But you can play around with selecting. These are the presets that come with the application, and you can simply click on any one of those to set it to that. So let's say, just for the sake of our show, we're going to say very fast 480p 30, because when we come back from the news, we want this thing to be ready so that we can actually give it a test. And you'll see that that has given us a width of 720 by 480, and we've got everything kind of set. You can go through here and see what the settings are for the for this filter. You notice it's going to automatically decomb the video, so that gets rid of the interlacing that happens on a DVD. Makes it look real nice. It's constant quality, and it's going to be very good quality there. Don't put it up too high because then it's going to just be unreasonably slow, and there's no point in it. And everything looks good. Great. So it's going to rip everything. So now we can either start encode, or if we're doing a chapter thing like I would with one of my BBC discs or Sky One discs from the UK, I could add to queue and then continue. You can click on preview, and it's going to create a nice little preview for you so that you can see what is this going to look like right off the DVD. You can see that it's obviously decoding it just fine. Everything looks great. And I can start that. So let's go. Give it a start. Let's take a look at our queue. Show queue, there it is. It's taking chapters 1 to 31, and it's saving to sherlockholmes.mp4. So I'm going to let that go. We're going to let that rip to the desktop of the computer, and when we come back from the news, it should be, you know, if all goes well, it's going to be all ready for us, and we'll have a file that we can import into Plex, or we can watch directly on our laptop computer. So I'm going to send it over to the newsroom. Sasha Dermatis, hiya, we didn't forget about you.
Yay.
Just so you know.
This is actually super exciting, I'll tell you. So
You like this stuff?
I certainly do.
All right.
All right, and I like this stuff. Here are the stories we're covering this week in the Category 5.tv newsroom. Police want Amazon to give up the data captured by Echo. Another line of customer routers from Netgear are dangerously vulnerable to hacker takeover. And Microsoft has contracted nearly $1 billion from the Department of Defense. These stories are coming right up. Don't go anywhere.
Jeff Weston,
Yeah, man.
you're building a brand new, beautiful website,
What?
aren't you?
No. Am I?
Oh, you're a terrible actor.
What?
This is where acting comes into play.
Oh, I didn't know we were acting.
You're supposed to act.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
I'm building a really cool website. Are you building a really cool website? You need hosting. One of the things about a hosting account is you don't want to have limitations put on your website.
It's true.
How much hard drive space do you have? How many email accounts? How many domains can point to it? Well, we've got an amazing deal for you. For a very limited time, cat5.tv/dreamhost, for just $5 and a bit of change per month, you are going to get unlimited website hosting, unlimited email accounts on that hosting service. You are also going to receive a free domain name.
Ooh.
So your own .com
Nice.
to put that amazing website that you've been working on
It's
on
true.
there. If you want to build a WordPress site, fine. Sign up, cat5.tv/dreamhost.
Just don't put Panama Papers on it.
Just don't do it. But hey, it's a great deal, folks. Best deal you're going to find. $5 and change per month. Go to cat5.tv/dreamhost.
I'm Sasha Dermatis, and here are the top stories for the week of December 28, 2016. U.S. police investigating a murder have tousled with Amazon over access to data gathered by one of its Echo speakers. The voice-controlled device was found near to a hot tub where the victim was found dead amid signs of a struggle. According to court filings, Amazon was issued with 2 search warrants but refused to share information sent by the smart device to its servers. However, the police said a detective found a way to extract data from the device itself. The accused killer has yet to be put on trial, and it is not clear whether the information ultimately proved useful to the investigation. I would say that this news story is super important and relevant due to the fact especially that they refused. And I think that that's actually a safe card to play, even though it is a murder investigation. I think that you don't want to give up too much information too easily and start a slippery slope situation.
So do you think, Sasha, that this is we're protecting the integrity of our system and of the data of our customers, or do you think it's more of a marketing decision?
I think it's a marketing decision.
Do you think so?
Absolutely. I think that they will happily, if compelled by the law, share, like, if they went to court for it. But I think that they want to look as though they are protecting the privacy of people, especially when they want more and more products in your home. Like, they don't just want... what is the name of the Echo? What is her name? It's a... I can't remember.
Alexis?
It's Alexa or something. I mean, they want these products everywhere.
Yeah.
And so they don't want you to think that they're going to just give you, not that everybody's a criminal, but that they're going to give you up, right? So the Internet of Things, it turns out, is a scary thing.
Can be. I think with this one, the interesting thing about this case is that we want to think that this is a good reason to give up that data. Right? Anytime this is a criminal investigation, they may have evidence that, of who it is that's responsible for a murder, and there's an echo right there that they know is recording all the things that are being said,
right,
and saving them somewhere.
Right, but if a police officer is able to, just using the device, get the information, that's fine.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, because then that's not compromising the Echo service. That's the built-in hard drive of the device itself.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And at that point, if it's just the singular device, not the, the web or the
cloud-based services,
the Echo itself, I'd rather it just be the thing itself, like a personal hard drive or a internal
if somebody,
storage.
if I got killed, by all means, take the recording device that's sitting on my desk, open it up, copy the files, and figure out who did this to me.
Truth be told, that's probably in the next agreement, in terms and conditions. You'll probably going to have an upgrade that you check off saying that now you're okay with, if it's a criminal investigation, sharing your information. But that probably wasn't already written in.
Oh, man. But see, it's such a tough thing because you were talking about this show, Dark Mirror, and how it makes you think about the dark side of technology being used to track things and information. And so if I sign this document that, if I got murdered, I want you to be able to listen to the data, the content. But where's the legal line where, okay, well, I haven't been murdered. No, I'm suspected in something that I didn't do, but it's still a legal investigation, and I signed off on the fact that, okay, they can now violate my privacy and listen to my family.
Right.
That, where is that line? That's the scary thing.
I mean, I know that they probably do have access to absolutely everything that's going on. If you have an Alexa device in your home, they can probably really tap into anything at any time. The fact that they are protecting that, or it's perceived protection at this point, protecting it from other people looking at it is a good thing. Right? They don't want, I guess Amazon doesn't want people to know that really the information is there to be had.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right?
And rightly so.
Right.
Rightly so.
Good job. High five. Except that in a criminal investigation, I'm happy that the person was caught without the need of the information being shared.
That's true.
Okay. Next, Netgear has downplayed the significance of newly discovered flaws in its WNR 2000 line of consumer routers.
I'm pretty sure that's the router that I have.
That is scary.
I'm pretty sure.
Tell
us about this.
Yeah, the vulnerabilities could hypothetically allow a remote attack to execute code and take over the device without authentication, claims Pedro Ribeiro, the security researcher who discovered the bugs.
Come on now.
No, truly. It's a LAN-based attack, but it can also be used over the internet if remote administration is enabled in the router, which is scary. This is what Ribeiro told El Reg. Ribeiro went public on the flaws earlier this week with an advisory after claiming he'd not received an adequate response from Netgear. Ribeiro maintains that the flaw is more serious than Netgear's response implies. Vulnerable devices are easy to find using an IoT search engine, he claims.
Right.
Also, the exploit, by its very nature, can be used to grant a hacker access to the user's internal network, placing personal files and even devices like webcams at risk. Scary stuff. Netgear plans to release firmware updates that fix the remote access and command execution vulnerability for all affected products. In the meantime, it is advised to completely disable remote management on your device. So, Robbie, have you done that?
You know what, Sasha? As I'm looking at this router and thinking about the story and what's going on, I'm thinking, who buys a Netgear router and doesn't immediately install DDWRT or Tomato, right? Like replace that firmware altogether and problem solved. Because these routers are fantastic for running third-party open source firmwares.
Right.
DDWRT on that router is a dream. And that's what I run. So I'm not susceptible to this because it's not a hardware flaw. It's a software flaw in the stock Netgear firmware.
Right.
So you got to look at what are you using. I suppose a consumer, like if you were to go out and buy a router, would you think to change the software that it's running? Like
me? No, never. I wouldn't even think of it. Not in a million years.
I didn't think that was a thing.
It is a thing, absolutely. Well, because you can buy a cheap router like this guy, like $115 or whatever Canadian, and then download a firmware like DDWRT is a perfect example that you can install on that device. And now, just like reformatting your computer and installing Linux versus the Windows that comes with it, you can put DDWRT on there and you get the features of a $10,000 router.
Oh, wow.
But it's only $115.
Huh.
Because it's an open source firmware. So, and it's not susceptible to this particular hack.
Yeah.
And you would expect that, okay, it could happen. DDWRT could be compromised, but they would, it's open source, so I would expect that they'd be pretty quick to fix it.
So I'm sure, like, this might be a whole other show topic, but, like, how would you disable remote access?
Well, generally, a router, you need to be able to log into it through your web browser in order to change settings. Like, this is a router, it's not a modem, so you need to be able to set up PPPoE. So if you've got a DSL connection, for example, or fiber to the node that you need to be able to authenticate with a username and password. All those gibberish words were just to say if you need to be able to put in a password, you need to be able to log into it to tell it what your username and password is. So that remote login capability is what's giving hackers the access that they need in order to compromise those devices.
Right.
I'm not too sure of the nature. They're not really saying much about this, are they, Sasha, about the nature of the hack?
That's part of the complaint. The complaint is that they're really downplaying this. They're not at all making it seem as significant as it is.
Yeah, and so I don't know, is it that people are leaving the routers with the default username and password so people can just find these routers online and log into them?
Yeah.
Or are they actually compromising the software? And because it's a firmware update that's required, I think that there's a backdoor into the router that's giving them access. It could be something, we've seen it before where some of these backdoors, and you see it in military defense installations and stuff. The IT companies sometimes deploy a backdoor into the system to give them the ability to support it no matter what the user sets their username and password to. So if somebody ever determined Batman's password, because I think that's what it was, they can get into that system regardless of whether they know the actual system username and password. So could it be an exploit like that? We don't know.
Because they're not telling us.
Because they're not telling us. But if you have that device, you need to fix that up for sure. So to answer your question, really, you just need to turn off the remote access capabilities so that it cannot be accessed through the internet.
Okay.
Pretty much just every single time I buy anything, I'm like, Robbie, I bought this.
Can you set this up for me? Yeah. I'd be like, sweet, that's a good little DDWRT router right there. Just throw that firmware on there. Tomato, whatever. Throw it on there.
Super. All right. Microsoft just scored a big win with a $927 million, or almost $1 billion contract to provide technical support and consulting for the United States Department of Defense, reports Reuters. I knew I was going to do it.
We just did a story on routers. We just did a story on routers. And now we're doing a story that has routers. Oh, sorry to do that to you.
Yep. Back in February 2016, Microsoft secured a huge deal with the Department of Defense to bring the Windows 10 operating system to all 4 million of its employees within 12 months. At the time, Microsoft said it was the largest enterprise deal for Windows 10 ever. Which makes sense. Windows 10 is actually new. As that 12-month window nears its close, it seems that the Department of Defense has gone back to Microsoft for the services and tech support necessary to keep everything running smoothly amid the transition. So that's a huge, big win for them.
It's not like they need the money.
Yeah.
Well, they do. Because they're remolding their company.
That's true.
Like many companies these days are realizing there isn't money in hardware, there isn't money in software. The money is in support.
Right.
That's where you make your income. And so, like so many other things, they have to change that model, and it has to become a support model. Otherwise, they're going to fold.
That's true.
And they're, they're preempting that and saying, okay, here's a great contract. Sweet. BlackBerry making the opposite decisions, and BlackBerry now getting, oh, maybe we should get into software and support. That would be smart now that we're almost bankrupt.
Oopsie daisy, as BlackBerry looks in its rearview mirror and thinks, oh, the things I should have done.
Oh, we should have done this 10 years ago.
Well,
the money's not in hardware.
Oopsie daisies. Thanks for watching the Category 5.tv newsroom. Don't forget to like and subscribe for all your tech news with a slight Linux bias. And for more free content, be sure to check out our website. From the Category 5.tv newsroom, I'm Sasha Dermatis.
Thanks, Sasha. This is Category 5 Technology TV. You can find us online at category5.tv. Not just a fancy name, it's also a website.
Yeah.
We've got some great shows there that are available for you. I want to say, hey, thank you to everyone who has been supporting us. This has been a really great year, a lot of fun, and a lot of change over the course of the year and to come as well. And so we really greatly appreciate your support. Don't forget, you can support us on Patreon. It's patreon.com/category5, and that's a great way that you can support us just by throwing a little our way with each episode that we produce. Okay, so bringing back up my Windows machine here, you can see it's still encoding past 1 of 1. It's about 50% done. So it's not going to be done during the course of the show. There's about 16 minutes left to the encode itself. But we saw in the preview there that it was, in fact, working just fine. And since installing the libdvd CSS DLL file on our Windows machine, as easy as that was to do, it gave Handbrake the capability of decrypting those DVDs. So these are commercial DVDs that we're able to now decrypt and add to our devices as a file. So that's where Plex comes in, and you can start building up your library from DVDs that you legitimately own, and then you're not downloading illegal things and stuff like that. Yeah. I'd rather see you be, import your own movie library and set that all up, and then you've got that all available on all your devices. I love that. I love that things are so connected with Plex. It's a really great piece of software. But that's all the time that we have for tonight. Can you believe?
Wow.
Kelsey, it's always nice having you here.
Always nice being
Thanks for making the trip and
I enjoy
coming to join us. And what's next? Like, you're back at school in a week's time.
Back to school next week.
And so then you're away from us for a while again.
Yes, I'll be back February, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Good. We'll make sure we book it.
Yeah.
So that'll be good. And it's been nice having you here. This is the end of 2016. Hard to believe, but here we go. Thanks again for supporting us through the year, and we're looking forward to all the things that are to come in 2017.
And of course, we are a part of the. We of course.
Oh right, she's like, oh yeah, can't forget.
Yeah. Of course,
take it away, Kelsey.
Category5.tv is a member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. cat5.tv/TPN and the International Association of Internet Broadcasters, cat5.tv/IAIB.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Kelsey for the win.
Yeah, for the win. She actually remembered to do our tags at the end of the show. Yeah. All right. Well, I hope you have a very happy new year. All the best for 2017. Please stick with us over the course of the year. We've got an exciting season ahead as we do the second part of season 10. Woo. And we're looking forward to it. All of us here, thank you for being a part of the show. So take care, everybody. We'll see you.
Have a good...
Bye. Happy New Year.